reverse mermaid model. There is one out there. There are at least a couple, I think. I'm not into the reverse mermaid. It's funny, but meh. But for those who adore it, it's out there. Anybody looking for that level of silliness. Well, the camera is fixed, so yay. I don't know what that was. Makes me wonder if it was Streamlabs all along. And not the computer. Because I didn't restart the computer, I only restarted Streamlabs. That said, this is an older dot cam. It would just be like it to like cost me a bunch of money right now during the Christmas season because my document camera is finally dying. It's been with me for so long. Hello, Crowley. So yeah, so we're going to start with walnut, which is almost black. And then we're going to bring up the levels of the basing. And what this does is it's going to give us that dark undercast, right? Especially if I leave some of that walnut showing out. It's kind of what I did also with owlbear, is I wanted to paint that dark color as a grounding. Because sometimes if I'm working on basing and I want to keep it, to make sure it stays in the background, this is what I do. Because starting dark will take everything else like that I put on top of it, just that little bit darker. Sometimes Streamlabs has problems with that anyway. So I'm only going to thin my paint a little. I'm going to do a 4:1 because I want it to cover over the green stuff, and sometimes it likes to rub off of green stuff, so we shall do it. We could prime our green stuff, I suppose. It's fully cured, so. I'm on 0 caffeine, or 4 milligrams of caffeine only, Crowley, so. I am finally shrugging off the caffeine addiction. It was a rough bit of time there, but I think we are on the other side now. Yeah, maybe we'll prime it. Let's just prime our green stuff. Just because I don't want to have problems. And because this is like around the edges, it's going to get handled and it's going to come up easily. So we'll prime. And that's kind of the rule. Like something like the water here, I wouldn't care about because it's recessed. It's not going to get actually handled. Whereas the raised ground around her feet is probably going to get some handling. So I was going to take Friday off, but then I realized David's parents don't come until that night, so I was like, I was thinking they came Thursday night, but I think I should be good to stream all week. Stream all week, unless Reaper's like having Friday off, in which case, haha, I will take advantage of it, but otherwise I'll be here. I'm never adverse to an extra day off. So I shook my primer up really well, and when you shake your primer up efficiently, you should get this kind of goopy, like, it should be solid. It shouldn't be watery at all. You should see it kind of like clinging there. It shows you how thick it is. It's not just water. That's how your primer should look. If your primer is at all thinner or more watery than that, you have more shaking to do. Alrighty. And I'm only going to thin it a little. Again, about a 4-to-1. So that I can get a nice thin smooth coat over the base without filling in too much detail. Primer will absolutely fill in detail. It is very good at it. So you always want to thin it. Oh yeah, puppy pickup. What breeder did you actually go with, Kodiak? Or did you, I forget, did you go with it, are you going to get a Shiloh or did you decide to get something else? I've been out of the loop, man. Oh, okay, Shiloh, good, good, good. 100 milligrams per cup in Cafe du Monde coffee. Yeah, that's about right, I think. 100 milligrams is pretty standard. Black tea, it's about 60. And green tea can be 30 to 50, depending on how it's brewed. And then white tea is like, I think, 10 to 20. And I'm on herbal rooibos, or honeybush. And I did do some decaf black this morning, which was good. Lets me have the flavor I want without the caffeine. I understand now David's mom saying she wanted more decaf flavors. Excellent. Yeah, Mindy's good. Longtime friend of mine. She's the one who suggested I get Kiki, by the way. When she was at the litter evaluation to see the pups, and when I was deciding which girl I was going to take, she said that I should take Kiki because I would be happiest with her, and she was right. Mindy's got a lot. She's been in the breed a little bit longer than me, 2005, I think. She's got a lot of experience. So which litter is that? I've been off Facebook, so I haven't been keeping track. But I've met most of Mindy's dogs, so I actually probably have met the parents of your dog, Kodiak. Yeah, you totally have to share pics, for sure. Like, if you can't get a Bridget puppy, like, I think Mindy is, like, up there as one of our best breeders, too. Or if you're in Canada, Vanessa at Guardian Kennels. Vanessa's top-notch. Vanessa has more experience than all the rest of us put together. She's been in the breed since the 90s. She's the president of our club. And she's a fantastic person and my friend. But I want to know which dogs, Kodiak, because who the parents are, because I'll be able to tell you if they're related to my dogs. Like Kiri. You can see if you have a Kiri descendant or Kiri relative. Yahtzee and Aaron. Yes, Yahtzee is out of Baxter. Or she's out of Kovu, who's out of Baxter. Baxter was Kiri's son. So you have a Kiri great grand puppy. You will have a great grand puppy. Yeah, and Aaron is from Europe, I believe, which is great. The European Shiloh population has been very healthy. And Yahtzee is a pretty girl. Oh, if you get a smoothie, I'm going to be so jealous. I have to go look at that litter now. How many smoothies are there and how many plushies? One smooth and 3 plushes, all girls. All right, cool. That's exciting. Yeah, now I want to run over to Facebook to see them. I haven't joined the group, but I should. So, Shiloh Shepherds come in 2 coat varieties, Sir Gambit. There is the plush coat, which is what Kiki is, the longer coat. But it's still not supposed to be super long. It's never supposed to be like a rough collie, like that long. It's kind of a medium long length. And then the smooth coat, which I prefer, is more of a traditional German Shepherdy type coat. Really wash and wear, really, just really like easy to keep up. I love that ease of upkeep. Plushes aren't that bad. You need to brush them like a couple times a week, ideally. And when they're below coat, you need to brush them a lot more, which is usually once or twice a year, depending on your weather. But yeah, so those are the different coat types. And I have a plush, but I much want a smooth. So if Kiki ever has puppies and we keep one, I'm going to be trying to match her to smooth boys so that I have a chance to keep a smoothie. Excellent. Yeah, I love the smooth. Love the smooth coat. Love, love, love. Well, if you want the smooth, if it fits you temperament-wise, you'll have a good chance of getting it, because most people want plush. Silly people. But they're all beautiful, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I'll have to look up that litter. Yeah, Mindy's a great resource since she was a vet tech for so long. She's really conversant on health. And if you have any issues or anything happens, like she's like going to be there with the info. She's really good that way. Oh, let's see. Where is my Shield Brown? Oh, excellent. Excellent. Yay, co-owner. Hey, boom. Fist bump. We are both Shiloh. We will both be Shiloh co-owners. Yeah. After health testing. You got to pass all the health testing first. And sometimes it doesn't work out. That's just, even with all the work we do to try to make sure that we get good pairings, genetics is still a dice roll. It will still surprise you. So, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. But yeah, it's fun and exciting. So cool. That's great. That's great. I'm super happy. Yeah, we're a good org for that. Like, if you were ever tempted to have a litter of puppies, like we are very good support for you guys. So, as you know, having heard me prattle on for ages, probably. All right, so now we're going to, we didn't put deep enough texture in here to really do a dry brush, but we can at least do stipple and try to pay attention to the texture underneath. I mean, technically we could probably do a really light dry brush. Just be careful, and if you did know that you were planning to dry brush this base to bring out texture, I would have overemphasized a bit of this texture to have that work better. The deeper the texture is that you sculpt or that you find on your base, the better a dry brushing target it's going to be. And when it gets subtle, that's when it gets hard. Thank you, Trashorama. Good deal. Yeah. That's good. You did it right. Like, I never knock. Like, I had a college friend who did go with a different org, and I never knock it if you do. It's just like gratifying when you go with us because we try hard. We try really hard. We're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but we try really hard to be a good resource and to do well by the dogs. That's the whole point of being here, is to have this breed go forward into the future in as healthy a way as possible. So cool. Awesome. Meanie baby stocking stuffer. Alright, so I'm going to start just stippling my Shield Brown over the top of my walnut, and if I find that it's just a little bit too different, although it should blend in pretty well, you can see. Like, you can see it, you want to be able to see your texture and see your, see the color, but you don't want, like, it to be, like, super bold. So I've probably done 2-to-1 on this. And you don't have to stick to your underlying texture perfectly. Just get it, like, kind of, mostly. We're going to be going over this with a couple of different colors, so you don't even have to hit everything. You just need to hit, as much as you want. Let's try to dry brush just for fun. Let's see what we can do. Unfortunately, I don't have a small flat around here. I only have a gigantic flat. So we'll try it. My gigantic flat might be too big. And my paint is very thin for dry brushing. So it can get it a little bit, but not a ton. And it lost a lot. It's lost a lot of that detail. So that's the downside of it. That's right, though. We can do just a really light coat, and then I'll come back and step a little bit more. I don't want to lose all of my walnut, so if I do lose a lot of it, I'll come back and apply it a little bit more. But yes, well, good fortune to you with your new pupper. I hope you have puppy-proofed the house. We got a carpet, a big rug for underneath our kitchen, our table, our dining table, which is pretty much the only table in our house. And Kiki has been loving it. She wanted to play with it at first, and we've just gently discouraged her at every time we see her trying to curl it up with her paw and play with it. But she really loves lying on it because it's soft and cushy. So she's finally at the point where she's like a year and a half and she's not trying to eat the rugs. So yes, you have a long road ahead of you, Kodiak. You have a long road ahead of you. But it's worth it. It's worth it. Now that Kiki is, like David took her to get, when he went to get his pastry this past weekend, when he went to get the panettone and everything. No pecan brown. Sorry. I forgot. I didn't see what. I missed what you said, Twisted Oma. There you are. Okay. Okay, yeah, fingers crossed for your hubby then, Twisted Oma. I missed that way back at the beginning. Sorry, I was wrestling with the mic and camera. I must have gotten distracted. But yeah, so David went to get pastry and he brought Kiki with him, which he hasn't for a long time because she's been such a handful when he does that. Because there's always tons of people waiting in line with their dogs, some of which are better behaved than others. But apparently she had two little dogs right next to her that were trying to jump up on each other and play with each other. And she stayed by David and she stood there and she did not go crazy, which is huge progress for her. It's just the maturity coming on now. Now we get to see like what all our months of work have accomplished pretty much. So now we're getting some nice texture on here. And we'll bring that out with the successive coats. They were afraid to approach me about it. Yes, so you did not get a cat foisted off on you. That's good. Kurniko would disagree, but that's good. So now I've already got this like dry brush coat, but it's not very strong because it's like a thinned coat over walnut. So it's much darker. So then I can bring my stippling in and accentuate some parts of it. And we'll be, like I said, I'm going to be bringing gray into this, as well as a lighter tan, and also probably a little bit of a cream color just for a tiny bit of a touch up at the top. Really lightweight. And I'm just using a Reaper number 0, by the way, for my brush today. I wanted a thicker brush with more of a tip on it because I was going to be doing a lot of stippling, and I wanted it to hold a little bit more paint as well. So, but as you can see, the Reaper 0 still has, it's not a super sharp, narrow tip like I tend to like, but it is a good enough tip to perform well at this sort of thing. And these brushes are a little bit less expensive than some of the Kolinsky Sables, so usually, if you were just getting one for detail work, I would say get the 05, the 0/5. I like the 0 for base coating and doing bigger areas. Or were they just like hanging out at cookie making so they could find a home for their cat? Which totally I could see people doing. Although it's sad if that's the only reason you're making cookies. Speaking of which, I need to make more cookies. Like, this is such my non-productive time. Like, I need to get stuff done. I'm sweating getting my stuff done for Patreon because there's just so much distraction everywhere. All right. Now, if you find that you either want to darken it down or you want to bring it up, you can glaze with the appropriate color. So you could glaze with your walnut or glaze with your shield brown, or you can wait till you bring up all your layers and glaze at the end, which is what I like to do. So now we're going to reach for a rainy gray. Or a stone gray, actually. Either one would work just fine. Yeah, let's do stone. Well, we might need a little bit lighter than that. I wonder if I have weathered stone in here or if I just add white. 1 second. I might just add a little bit of creamy ivory to it. Need it to be a little lighter than what I've already done. Yeah, fingers crossed, Twistoma. That's rough. Right, yeah, for sure. Yeah, you gotta give the older ones their time, like, and not stress them out. I totally am with that. Like, they've been around longer than anybody. I respect that decision. So I'm going to actually just put a little bit of thinner into this stone gray, and then I'm going to try to put it over the brown just a little bit. It's around the same degree of lightness and darkness, the same shade is what that's called. Shade doesn't mean it's the same like hue. Hue is the color, shade is the degree of light or dark. So it's maybe a tiny bit lighter than the shield brown, but it's also a different color, so it's probably going to pop out. So I'm going to be playing with that. Very overbaked then, Trash? Overbaked? That's an easy fix, though. If it was only the bake and not the recipe. So I'm just going to do a little bit. Mix a little bit of gray in here. See if there's some rock specks like speckled through the soil, which there would be for sure. Let's make it a little bit, bring it up a little bit more interesting. It just adds visual interest and it makes it look a little more natural to add different colors in your soil. And I could do it a lot faster, but I'm having fun, so I'm just gonna enjoy painting my dirt. Alrighty, so that gets a little bit of different. And you can see why you might want to glaze at the end when you do. I'm going to be doing even more layers of colors on top of this. And this is certainly a technique that you can use, and I have used it in just quick dry brushing. So a dry brush of the brown, and then a dry brush of the gray, and then a dry brush of a tan, and then a dry brush of an off-white. We'll be using leather brown for the tan after I get this gray worked in. And then back here a little bit more gray, I think, on the back side because I want it to be a little rockier. Yeah, I made one batch of cookies and I desperately want to eat them all, so I probably should hold off making more, but part of me wants to make more. Especially being like stuck on low carb right now, so my guts get better. It's like I would just want to have a variety of Christmas cookies that I can eat, because I'm not going to be able to eat any of the ones that David's mom is going to make. Not unless I can get the guts tamed before they come. Maybe I'll be able to have like one on Christmas, so that's about it. Alright, so yeah, and it starts to come up, and the gray starts to stand out next to the dark a lot, but that's where the glaze comes in. Actually, I think I'm going to glaze with the gray on the back side right now, because I want it to be more rocky back there. Debating making some cookie cutter cookies. Those will need to have real icing, but I can still control it a bit. Alrighty, so glazing. And over the area that this is, which is very, got some deep fissures in it, we're going to have to come, somebody ban that. Quindy, can you ban that? Thank you. Or Trish, whoever managed that one. Don't you love how childish people are? It's like, really? Are you a little 12-year-old? Maybe you were. Maybe you were a 12-year-old. It's not a compliment. Like, kid, we've seen it all before. We're adults here, okay? Whatever. Thanks, Kodiak. Yeah, thanks, Trash. I figured you or Quinty or both of you would handle it. There's no reason to get angry about it. That's what they want you to do, Shadow Raven. That's why we just, we'll just move on. Give them the infantile, the assessment of their temperament that they deserve, and then we'll move on. So that blends it in better and makes it look like it's more a rocky backdrop. Some people do, some people do. I prefer to give it the benefit of the doubt that it's just a kid being dumb, but, There we go. All right, so then we're going to come off of the rockiness is going to blend in here. We'll do a little bit of gray stippling to blend it in a little bit more. Heavy out the gray, and then we'll move in. Okay, let's get some warm now. After you do a gray stipple, you tend to have taken down your warmth a lot, so that's about what you'd expect from a 12-year-old. So we'll get a nice warm brown now with our leather brown to kind of bring things back up. Although dried out soil does look pretty gray, so pretty muted, but still, I'm going to add a little bit more warmth into it. Oh yeah. Yeah, it is. It's grade school mentality crap. Yep. Agree. That's why I kind of assume that it's just a kid. But now we're going to stop talking about it because that's what they want, guys. Shush. Let's talk about cookies again. Or what other treats you're planning on making for the holiday season. I have to, I gotta find a tri-tip somewhere since I'm not making a prime rib. Sadly, this audience will not appreciate the prime rib. Yeah, let's just put the cap on it though, Shadow Raven, okay? Let's move on. Wasn't worth talking about. So a little bit of warmth, and I'll mostly concentrate on the top here. Ah, never done a turkey. Cool. Oh, venison, nice. Yeah, venison's really lean, so. Yeah, venison, yeah, burgers and chili, sometimes depending, you want to mix a little bit of ground beef in there, Kodiak, depending on where you're getting it from. With Texas, they always said to do that, but with Wisconsin, I never did, so it depends, I think. Oh, nice. Grilled cheese and tomato soup. Good, good. Yay, good, Inara. Happy. Yeah, that it comes and goes. But a cold, at least, you can, kick relatively easily, so it is what it is. I'm going to be making tri-tip for, because the in-laws just they don't appreciate a good, well-marbled cut of beef. So I did prime rib last year, and David's mom, like my mom, likes her meat more well done, which is just a waste. So this year I decided, see how this is coming up really nice now? Look how beautiful that is. It's just dirt, but it's beautiful, and I'm happy about it. I know. Anne and her rocks. But yeah, so I just decided that tri-tip was so much easier. Just stuff it in the oven with a thermometer in it and go after the initial sear. So we're going to do that. That means I probably have to shuttle over to Costco because they've actually got when they're in stock, we like their prime ribs. Or not prime ribs, they're tri-tips. So I don't know if I'll get lucky, but I need to head over there. Maybe I'll go today. So you can see what a nice texture that has now. That's the sculpting we did and all the treatments that we've done. So just a little bit lighter now. And instead of going like straight up creamy ivory, I think I'm just going to add a couple drops to that leather and do it that way. Ah, pancake puffs. Nice. Tasty. Ah, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I was going to do the potato pancakes, the latkes. I was going to do latkes again, so I need to get apples for applesauce making. Nice. Nice steak, yay. Steak is always good. Alright, so I just dropped a couple drops of that creamy ivory into my leather brown, which is going to bleach it out a little bit, but it's going to stay darker than just using the creamy ivory. If I'm dry brushing, then I'd use the creamy ivory, but since I'm layering, I'm going to take it a little darker. Also notice my base has stayed relatively dark. We've got some nice detailing on it, but it's stayed relatively dark. And this is going to be really, really light, so just to drag it into frame. Really light color. I'm probably actually going to pull it over here so I can thin it more effectively because this is a giant puddle. Hot and sour soup is tasty at any time. I am probably making my Moroccan lamb stew today. It's CrossFit night, but I think I'm just going to start it early because I noped out of it yesterday. I just ran out of energy after all the Christmas crap. So we ended up just getting Chipotle for dinner because David took one look at me going, "Rawr!" But if I start it early enough, I can get it done before CrossFit, so that's the big thing with Tuesdays and Wednesdays, or Tuesdays and Thursdays, rather. I'm going to switch to a smaller brush for this. And we're doing the basing on an elf, Time Buster. Doing a basing on an elf. I'm just doing a final layer of highlighting, and then we're going to do some turf and stuff, textured grass and turf on the top of it, and then probably some fall leaves. And then if we have time, we're working on this bigger, more elaborate base for this guy, also an elf. Because there are two wood elves, so we're essentially finishing up. So I need to paint this one and then do a lot of basing effects on it. I have played D&D, boy, do I have to count? For 40 years. I started when I was 9. And I started running campaigns for my little brother when I was 10 and 11. So I have run every edition. I've run every edition of Dungeons & Dragons. And I've played most of them. I don't have a character right now. It takes a lot of energy. And I have a very busy life right now. So D&D and other role-playing games have kind of dropped off the radar right now for my husband and I. Instead, we're playing computer games. But when I play, I like to play paladins and clerics. Sometimes monks, depending on the edition. Monks are sometimes kind of crap and sometimes okay. but I kind of have a soft spot for them. Just do a little bit of highlighting around the front. All right, Mama Jama. Yeah, D&D for 42 years. Excellent. Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah, it takes a lot of creative energy because I mostly GM now. I mostly DM, so that creating adventures takes more time and work, and I've just gotten a really busy life. So, and I moved away from my old gaming group in Texas a few years ago, so I haven't really gotten a new gaming group out here in the West Coast. But it's all right. We can still play computer games. I'm thinking about picking up the new Baldur's Gate because I hear it's amazing, but I also hear it'll eat your soul, so I'm kind of put off. But if I really want a D&D fix, I figure I can pick up Baldur's Gate. David and I, he plays WoW. I stopped playing WoW. I played it for years, but we play, I love Overwatch, so he'll play that with me. Right now we're both playing the new Path of Exile. We were playing Diablo, the new Diablo, for a while together, and now the new Path of Exile season came out, and I really wanted to play. So we do a whole bunch of different types of games. And when a new Borderlands type game comes out, we're always playing that. So, yeah, it varies. We play a whole bunch of different stuff. Alright, so just a little bit of light on there just to bring out some details there. Now let's put some turf on there. Where is my mix? I need my mix. It's buried back here, of course. It's in a big wide container. But yeah, so right now really liking the new Path of Exile, actually. Having fun with it. I didn't ever play anything like that before David. David loved Diablo, and Path of Exile is like the same kind of thing as Diablo. So I tried Diablo 3 a long time ago with friends, but quit pretty early. So here we got our turf mix. This is a mixture of, you can see little bits of like sand in it, the little white grit. So it's got some actual like sand and gravel in it. It also has little styrofoam bits that you can see kind of clinging to the leaves there, or the grass there. See it? There's our styrofoam bits. That's turf. Traditional turf is just tiny little dried oregano that's just like ground up and sprinkled in and then mixed in. Then we've got some of these little leaves, which are seed pods. I think they're spruce seed pods. I don't remember, but they have a lot of them out here on the West Coast. You can also buy them online in bulk for leaf shapes. They're nice leaf shapes. And then we've got static grass also mixed in here. You probably can tell. So there's two different colors of static grass mixed in. There's a dark green and then a light green. And some of the turf mixed in here is also a lighter colored turf. So I've got some, there we go. Got some lighter yellow there, see, mixed in. So, and then, yeah, the little twigs and stuff that are in here are from the oregano, so that when you see a little twig, like you get those kind of things with herb packets, if you get that. Oh. Okay, are we back? Do I need to replug? The fact that it comes and goes when nothing is moving. And some of you aren't. 1 second. All right, we good? All right. That's weird. Yeah, this is a brand new mic, so it's not the mic. The computer's refurbished, but I can try swapping ports next time. All right, so sand and gravel, 2 kinds of turf in 2 different colors, old oregano, just for the little twigs and bits and different odd shapes for leaf litter. The turf helps mound up so that you can get an organic look. 2 different colors of static grass, dark green and light green. And then the little seed pods, the birch seed pods or whatever they are. And every once in a while I also find a bigger rock in here, like a bigger, oh. We froze again. The camera froze again. Holy crap today, guys. Holy crap. I'm starting to think I just restart my computer. Yeah, when they're dried, they do, Mama Jama. Definitely Gremlins, definitely Twitch. Your connection's also scuffed. Alright. Bad trash. You don't want to eat styrofoam, so you know. Or rocks. Alright, so I am going to... I'm going to take a chance and restart the stream. Yeah, I think they're white birch or something like that, Twisted Oma. We have a lot of them out here in the West Coast. They have a lot of them in Washington State, Northern California. Alright, I'm going to end stream and restart, guys.